same energy. Work on being better when I'm 70. Your drip is just a water spring. You know I drip different, just the 7 seas. I deal with life different, make that lemon squeeze. Ran off for my style and identity. Better bounce back and get the cheddar cheese. I guess that's why they envy me. On track, now we going way up. Don't be used as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up, way up, pray up. On track, now we going way up, way up. Now we going way up, now we going. On track, now we going way up, way up. Now we going way up, now we going. I got his hit.
What is up? It's Wednesday night, and we've got some special guests this evening. One connecting and one already here. My good friend, to be honest, two of my best friends in the space. I've definitely known them the most and longest, probably of anyone, actually. And so I've got with me this Wednesday night on Board TV, the one, the only, Don't Feed the Wolf. What's up, dude? How are you?
Yo, man, I feel like it's been a long time. Was just having some nostalgia too, watching that intro where you go and show through all the guests, and actually saw a little clip of myself there too. When last time I was on, I was like, man, how long ago was that?
Dude, Dookie Dash, bro. That was, I guess January, February time. And
start of the year. It's almost, yeah.
Dude, it's wild. It's been almost a year. So it's crazy, dude. And for those that don't know, Don't Feed is just such an amazing builder in the space. I've had the privilege of attending a bunch of events with him. Stayed at his crib in Miami, which was so fun. And our second guest, who is now live and in color from Colorado, Mr. Squirtle. What is good, my guy?
What's good? It only took me about 3 minutes to get my camera working over here.
Technical difficulties. We're there today. I think when I got on by myself, my mic wasn't working. Don't Feed came on. Some things were happening. That's just life. Tech is great when it works. But nonetheless, happy to have two of my absolute best friends in the space and two of the best builders that I know to come and talk a little bit about, of course, Bored Apes, of course, Yuga Labs, of course, Yuga Gaming. But, man, something in the air, fellas. And I think one individual specifically really was starting to kick that off in his own special way, which, to be honest, that's the only way he's ever done it. Is one of the founders, obviously, of Yuga Labs himself, Mr. Gordon Goner. Man, he is back and better than ever, I must say, just because, dude, he's all over the timeline. He is going absolutely bonkers on his buys. And, of course, he had to start with this beautiful tweet to let us all know, I am on the shitter when I'm buying these fucking grails, homies. Because, listen, this is the only way that he does it. He knows best. This fucking idiot copying your Grail NFTs from the shitter. Yo, as someone that's been, obviously Yuga, Bored Ape, Maxi, and I remember like early days when obviously, naturally, the founders of Yuga Labs could be much more active. Duh. Because it was just, a few thousand idiots, right? Like they were making their own merch and like packaging in the back of their mom's basement or something like that. These are all stories that are true. And now it's like they're worth so much money. They're super busy. They have all these things in the air. They've hired all these, over 100 and I think 20 employees or somewhere in there. And this guy is back. Obviously he's had some health issues, but dudes, what's your feeling the last 36 hours of just seeing this idiot copying grails left and right?
I think I want to know who has spent more money while sitting on a toilet. Was it 1.35 mil on that punk, right?
Yes. Correct.
Insane. That punk's amazing. It's like it's a grail punk, like 100%. It is.
That's what kicked it off too, right? That first purchase for 600 ETH. I was just realizing too, we're talking about this and you're talking about him, is that, and it's almost that time of year. I know it's a little, we're just 1 month early, but he's kind of like spreading some Christmas joy going around right now, like kind of just lifting the spirits. And it's, you got to love to see it after, the market we've been going through and how things have been on the timeline prior to this. So.
No, definitely agree that it's just been super bearish. And obviously that doesn't mean that people aren't building. I know both of you are always active in the Web3 space and building and having gigs and jobs and side hustles. But at the end of the day, the timeline had been, not feeling as good, not as fun. And for those of us idiots like myself that, you know, we just like to talk about things and create some content, it's a lot easier to do that and want to do that and put in those extra hours when people are vibing. So here is the first massive sale or buy.
How good is that punk?
Yo, it's so good. It's so good.
Perfect.
And like the beanie for him, like to me, it is literally him. Like it's perfect.
Dude, it looks like a little penis cap, which is definitely right up his alley. Like,
dude, we had dildo talk earlier today. You just never know where it's headed. But dude, again, the cool thing, and somebody pointed this out, and it's a small thing. It's a small little thing, but he didn't have to go buy a punk. You know how many punks that Yuga Labs friggin' owns that he could just be like, yeah, I want this one, whatever the, you know, dope one. I'm sure they got a bunch of dope ones. This dude went out, spent his own freaking ETH to the tune of 1.136 million, 600 ETH for this amazing, absolute panty dropper of a zombie punk. And so, like, to me, yeah, there's Yuga Labs haters, and there always will be. That's just life in general. But you got to respect the player here, right? Like, dude, you dropped it right away. You started off with an absolute bang. And the thing that's really cool is, you know, he started maybe with the absolute most massive grail, but then he continued to collect. Like, it's not just one project. It wasn't just Bored Ape. It wasn't just Yuga Labs projects. He was spreading the wealth, and he was, I mean, again, he just had these absolutely crazy, absurd tweets, all very fun. After he bought the Zombie Punk 2, I'm sure you guys saw this, Jack Butcher, of course, because he's so fast with it, had to make a little tribute to him on the timeline with a GG. And after he bought it, he said it was Gordon Garner said it was long overdue, going to take me forever to follow back every single punk who followed me today, but it will get done. Thank you for the warm welcome to this 8-man punks. More foolishness tomorrow. And so this was November 6th, right? 2 days ago. So I guess it's been like 48 hours, and it's been freaking electric. Everybody's sort of sadly simping in the comments saying, oh, buy my freaking NFT.
Some of those projects I've not seen in a long time.
Dude, some of them I never even heard of. Like, there's some of these that I'm like, bro, if I hadn't even heard of your project, like I've never seen it in my life. You gotta, that's a tough,
dude. That's how you know too that we're just kind of, maybe we're a little bit back when you start seeing like all of that like really hard like
yeah,
the simping and shilling. Like I haven't had that. It's been a while, right? You know,
right? You haven't had the shitting lady on a shitting toilet in your DMs asking for promotional material.
You know, it's just I need to go and dig it up. But I swear, not only were people just saying things like that, but then they were also digging up like old tweets where he might have mentioned one project or another, like 2 years ago. You know, like you know, like how desperate do you got to be to either be offloading those bags, or you just really want them in the community, or you just want to be a part of it. But to go like dig up something like where he just happened to mention offhand your project, like
dude, that's relatively hilarious actually. So I knew that both of you would super appreciate For the Culture, the Toads, on November 7th. So yesterday, super vibey. I think it was a 2 ETH or something. I don't remember what this
was 4.9.
Okay, 4.9. Super dope Toads. And Toads have been kind of rocking and vibing back, as some projects have been doing. But again, like he didn't have to do all this, and he could have bought them and just like not said anything. I think he's doing this on purpose, and it's something I want to talk about and I'm going to continue to scroll through his feed here. And I'd love to get both your perspective. It's just like, it's kind of hard to imagine, but you know, way back when Bored Ape was just starting and they didn't know they're going to sell out. Like you hear all the stories, if you heard it before, it's like they didn't know they're going to sell out, blah, blah, blah. There was always a sense of like they wanted the NFT space to really thrive, not just Bored Ape, not just Yuga Labs, because they had no clue that they'd be acquiring punks and Meebits and creating, you know, all this random shit, a token. It was all about community. It was all about trying to lift each other up if you could, trying to support. They had grants at the very beginning of all this. And Jenkins of LA was one of the projects that got one of those grants to get started. And so like you think about it, we might have never seen all the cool shit that Jenkins of LA did had it not been for that first initial grant. And so for him to do this, to me, it's not flaunting at all. It's him trying to bring the good positive, not wag me, but the good positive energy and vibes, and also, you know, tipping the cap to some of these builders and artists that have made really cool art and things that he appreciates. It's not just, I'm just going to throw it out the most random shit. Like he had a reason for every one of them. And so I'd love to hear just your perspective as I continue to scroll with this next, the seal ARF MFers. Seal's cute. Oh yeah. And he had to obviously quote tweet it from his November 8th, 2022. Seal's cute as fuck. I'm just dicking around because
Dude, he's
that's
having
when,
fun. Like,
dude, for
it's
real.
good to see, especially like him. Like, it's been a while. He's had his health stuff. It's awesome seeing him just kind of doing the internet thing. Like, like his whole origin was like, the internet's fun. Like, I was playing video games in guilds. Internet was my life. It was like my whole, like, it was the culture I grew up in. And it seems like he's like kind of diving back into that right now while spending a whole bunch of ETH. But,
yeah. He's definitely doing that too. 100% spending a lot. But like just the look on his face, like to me, that says it all. Like this is the essence of Gordon right here. And so then he went in and got a D-God. Of course, laser eye, gold, crazy as hell. Kind of vibey for sure. I appreciate it. I
like the one
D-God
I actually would think about, wanting.
Of course, right? Like,
if I could, if I had that money, right?
And of course he said, okay, but what the fuck is a Ute? So I wonder if he will acquire one of those maybe tomorrow. And then here, as a maxi, this tweet actually got me even more fired up. More later, got to go meet Jeff Nicholas to eat pancakes and tell him my secret BAYC plans. And so again, like, yeah, I kind of like playing around, whatever. But at the end of the day, bro, if you got Jeff, who I respect the hell out of, and Gordon sitting down to chop shop and just, I'm sure talk about Apefest because, Jeff had just gone back and talk about, some ideas that maybe he's cooked up while he's spending all this ETH. Like, dude, if you're in the community, I don't know how you can't be more bullish. And then he, of course, had the picture, proof of hangs with Gordon Goner, secret plans transfer. Although we got rugged on the pancakes, had to go with nachos. And so again, two of the absolute chads, two of the best dudes in the space, and both working obviously for Yuga Labs. And then yesterday, of course, how does my Pingus curve a little bit to the left? Be honest, I can take it. Let me know in the comments as it gets an absolute vibe of a penguin, like absolute amazing freaking vibe.
That was 3080s. Yeah, 3869.
We're racking up the ETH one buy at a time. Not a surprise. Hey, Sappy Seals, love this. 1 year later. That's just absolutely perfect. And then you had this was fun.
I was about to say, because when you were showing that photo earlier, a bunch of people started shopping themselves. Freeze Frame, who you had on here, he was another one who did one.
Yeah. So that was super fun for sure. This was cool. I saw this earlier in honor of Gordon Goner picking up that Grail Zombie. This is algo generated, this little GIF, which was fun. And then, and this is just a retweet. And we're going to get into Apefest and kind of talk a little bit about that as well. And then talking about Garga. He's liking all this shit from Apefest. And we go back. Listen, it's going to be a fucking day, okay? Rapid firing a bunch of NFTs all under 3 ETH later, then copying some expensive grails. Hold on to your butts. So this was 12 hours ago. And then here we go. We got Dead Fellas. Been hard not scooping one of these the past 2 years. Love the art. Love the project. This little fucker lives in my bottom desk drawer and gives me the finger whenever I'm too lazy to write. Matches Zombie Gordo 2. Perfect.
2.99 ETH on that one. So right under the 3, like he said.
Yeah. Hey, he was not lying. Right under the 3. I love this because the colors with his freaking ape are perfect. Legendary vibes from the legend himself. Bobby Hundreds matches my ape. So chef's freaking kiss. For real. I love it. The orange background, even the blue with the blue beams. And then we got, and this is we just talked about this. So, and don't feed, I'll throw it to you. This tweet, the best part about these Gordon Goner sweeps is watching communities come together and celebrate. Screw the tribalism. We're all in the same boat. We win together. What are your thoughts on that?
Yes, this is something we've talked about in the back end, even before Gordon coming in, about Yuga. And I know for you, Phil, it's like I'm gonna be beating a dead horse a little bit because I had this realization recently, was talking about it, and I'm sure this is something you've already known. But I had even further realization with Gordon coming out, and I'll get to that, is that like Yuga in general, right, has just been very good about lifting the whole space up as a whole and spreading the love with everything they've been doing. There's some other news for this week that we'll get into that just fits on that theme, and that's where that conversation stemmed from. But then seeing now Gordon come out and do this, I'm realizing like that heart and soul of that attitude, I think comes from Gordon. Like he's probably one of the biggest proponents of it, which is I'm telling you something you already know.
No,
very well. But anyways, it all just connected to me. I was like, okay, cool. So Yuga, I've always just felt this way about Yuga, that Yuga's like that. And now seeing Gordon behave this way, I'm like, oh, he's a big part of that. He's really about that. Yeah. And I just love it. And I think we've talked about this too, about the fact that, I mean, these guys could have just fucked off with the money. Like they made a bag. They sold the company. They got other people in. They could just leave. Like, and they're not. B, they could have not fucked off with the money, and they could have just been like, well, you know what? Like, this is a cutthroat space. We're going to operate like OpenSea. Fuck all the competitors or what I don't know who, but like have the wrong mentality or the wrong approach. And like they could have, I'll wait until we get into the marketplace news before that, to go further. But yeah, you get the point.
No, for sure. I agree completely. And we're going to dive into that. What I think everybody thinks is a massive bombshell too, and something that they kind of been teasing for a little bit. But back to the bias, we got Timpers HD has done an incredible job with Chimpers NFT. It's an obvious why he's so beloved by the community, a true founder in every sense, and still one of my favorite artists. So again, this is somebody that was in the Bored Ape community, started Chimpers NFT, which have done really well, done a good job of storytelling. A lot of people vibe with the art as well. So again, not a surprise. Hey, Anthony, agreed. He is about that. We are about that. Hey, double fucking tap. I agree, my brother. So again, a quick welcome to the dojo, Chimpers, and then one of my favorite and funniest tweets. Guys, I finally got a Beeple. Just an absolute perfect response for those of us that don't remember, because you might not. It's been a minute. For a long time, there was a speculation that Beeple and maybe Yuga Labs even were the creators of the freaking goblins, and they even went out to eat. And like we're saying, like talking about goblin plans, and had like a picture, and they're definitely gaslighting all the people that said that. So him tweeting this out was just absolutely perfect. People responded just LOL. He said something like, I thought you were the founder or something like that. So
yeah, people responded, and he's like, I thought you were the founder too, or something.
Exactly. So again, no surprise. And
can we go down memory lane real quick?
Yeah.
Right. Yes. Goblin Town. Remember that era of NFTs?
Wow, bro, that is.
Spaces on top of spaces of just goblin noises.
You want to go down? You want to go down that arrow real quick? Just let me and I'm not going to speak too long. I'll let you continue.
But go for it.
Just to show my freakish memory, I remember very well. We were hosting a graveyard shift space, and they had just dropped and sold out, and they were still pretty low. They were below an ETH or whatever. Phil's like, yo, what do you guys think? He probably, some alpha groups and some people he's around, they were already sniffing. They knew what was up. But we were all like, nah. And we faded, and it bumped, right? And then it was like above an ETH. And then it just kept fading and watching this thing. Ran all the way up to like freaking 10 ETH.
Yeah.
And that was the start of the bear, right? Like after all that, yeah.
We should have known, dude. We should have known when this is what's pumping to 10 ETH. We should have been like, dude, we got to hit the ejecto button, dude. I remember that, dude. I vividly. Because we're talking about Vicky too, because I think she had one, and I was like, man, I've been looking at this one, but they're pretty ugly, and it was like 0.2 or something. It was low. I'm like, damn, dude, because I believe this. Maybe I would have wrote it back down to where they are now, but surely I would have fucking offloaded if they got to like even 5 ETH, because that felt like
easy
to me. That felt so overcooked. No hate to Goblin Town. It was just like everything was just like on fire at that moment that it just ran up so fast, dude. They were the bottom, Anthony. And those spaces, I do agree. They did start the little new meta of like, let's create almost a story in spaces, because then we went down way better than goblins just going, drink my piss. But you got to think about it. They did start this whole like, let's create a narrative out of everything we do. The founders, when we're on spaces, everything we put out is all part of the story. But man, it is insane to think back at this. It feels like a freaking lifetime ago, legitimately.
What was that, a year and a half?
Yeah, probably
ish.
Feels like 69 years ago.
Yeah.
And then you got, this is actually my spirit guide. I saw it in a vision while deep in the jungle of ayahuasca. Weird coincidence how they turned it into an NFT collection. So again, obviously Gordon has partaken in many a drug, and he's talked about it freely, which is cool. That's fine, and that's probably where a lot of these insane ideas come from. Dookie Dash, along with many others. But of course, Rec Guy, super vibey art. Not a surprise that he vibed with it. Pick that up. What was the price on this one?
By the way, that's what to say before we get into the next one. These past 5 were all under 3, just like he said, the rapid fire 3.
Okay.
And now we're going to start going above 3 again.
All right. And then he went back to Yuga Labs from the awesome and powerful wizard of NFTs himself, Mr. Figgy. The attention to narrative and detail with everything 10K TF does in terms of utility is mind-blowing. Very little in space. Hits these notes. No surprise that he went and got one of these.
And so this is a 3.5. Phil, can you explain to me why this one, like, how is there already, because the PFP is not out yet or anything, right? But like, there's obviously differences. Is there different traits like already kind of? Okay,
yeah,
so
the Kings thing, it was all about boring, Anthony. The King's crowns there. It was about, I think it was burning, like you had to burn them or like fuse them together. It was a fusion thing. And so the more you fuse, the more rare it would be. You're like guaranteeing a rarer item. So this will be one of the more rare PFPs, I guess is what I'm saying.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, because just on theme, he's been buying obviously above the floor on everything. I was just wondering, generically, me not knowing much about 10K TF, I just think they're all passes. Yeah,
I have one, and I'm holding it just because I respect the heck out of Figgy and what 10K TF does. And so yeah, this is legendary. He got basically the best you could get. So you'll see something super dope come out of that, I'm sure. And then you got Figgy saying, "Sup? Okay, be back in a few hours. Got to pace myself. Stay hydrated." And then, I freaking love this cool cat. What are your guys' thought on the rank 16 rarity for 68th? Literally free. Always been a massive fan of cats. Feels good to finally be a part of the, of course, cool cats and Klon has created. He's done an incredible job. Also did this. So Hawkward would finally shut up, which is hilarious too.
Captain 404.
Dude, I love this one.
Yep.
I've loved the TV screen, the cat TV screen. I think it's dope, especially with the even the cool cats this past week showed off their balloon, which looks freaking awesome.
Oh, for the Macy's Day Parade coming up. Hell yeah.
Cool.
I mean, it looks freaking awesome. And again, shouts out to the team there. I thought this was a super dope pickup. I've never actually had a cool cat. This is a cool cat that I really, really like. Obviously, I don't have 6 ETH lying around, to buy it, but nonetheless, a super dope pickup.
Fun story. I bought 2 cool cats at 0.1 way back in the day. Way back.
Right.
What a trip that was.
Dude, I remember when them jokers were, I think, below 0.1, and I was like, I almost bought like 10 of them, and then I was like, I'll just wait. And I was like, shit. But we all have stories like that.
Didn't those fuckers run up to like 14, 10?
Oh, yeah.
Easy.
Oh, yeah. They were expensive. And then Klon, of course, the classy man he is. You literally got one of my all-time favorite cats in the entire collection. Was inspired by the graphic novel Saga. Congrats on scooping this one, which that's dope. I love that he showed that connection as well.
Dude, Saga is an epic graphic novel. Highly recommend. It's like a space sci-fi opera kind of thing. Yeah.
Nice. We love that. And again, I love that tie-in. We like to see a little peek behind the curtain, if you will. And then here we go. This is 9 hours ago. Real talk. I fucking me bits. Have wanted a Skelly since day one. Oh, because I think he had some fucking typo or something. Let's see here. Did he? Oh yeah, he deleted it. Never mind. I remember why. Because then he picked up an awesome skeleton me bit, which we can find here in a second if it's not up here later. But
as you're looking for it, the price, by the way, 42.069, so 420.69. Obviously, I feel like the price might have been part of it. He's like, hey,
and like this
looks good, but also the price is right where I want it.
Just to give you a little snippet, because he did take it down, because basically he said, all right, 5 ETH prize to whoever can make the best dildo looking like the Skelly me bit. And then he took it down because he said that he realized it was probably not a good look. He's like, Daniel's going to be really mad at me. Obviously he's being funny and all that, but I can see both. I can see why he took it down, but just to give a peek behind the corner, of course he has this up still. Wiley, do you know what the latest Yuga KPIs are? Yes, cool penis shaped me bits indeeds. So again, he was asking, and people were already like, of course, trying to line up and try to do that. Then we got, again, some more love for him. That was his first doxed picture. And then he had to go absolutely ham. How much for this cat doodle?
Oh shit! Gonna have to dig up
69.
At
those
69?
69.
Shit.
Kind of
69.
surprised. A little
Yeah.
surprised.
That feels like a lot. No? Or am I crazy? I don't know. What are the doodles floor even at? I don't even know.
Not sure.
Check this out.
Two?
We got some stats. The 69 ETH is the biggest doodle sale of this year.
Okay.
19 ETH higher than the second biggest sale. And there are 9 of those cats in the collection.
Okay.
Dope.
Also, the Meebits was the 4th most expensive Meebit of the year.
Yeah, none of that is super surprising just because we've been in a bear, but I love to see him again spreading the
doodle.
wealth and going. I agree. I like this doodle a lot. The cat. We love the cats. And then Danny Green, shout out to Danny Green, friend of the show and listener, and he's been on twice as a guest. In fact, my first time talking with Gordon was at Apefest 2022, waited in line like all you MFers to meet the man. When I told him who I was, he launched into a potential Meebits. Yesterday, I said in the Meebits Discord, get ready, Gordo is buying a Skelly, and he freaking did. And here it is, by the way, because he said Grail, because he took down the other one. This Meebit, my guys, is freaking awesome. Like, this is a really cool Meebit. I like Meebits. This one's like extraordinary. Very much a Grail. 42 ETH wowzers.
Will
4
look
more.
amazing in the other side.
Oh, yeah. 100%. We'll get into that too, because Ape bought full body apes. Our friends Bryce and Will, they are overseas still. They also sent me a fun picture, and they brought my ape in and took a picture of the 3 of us in the other side, because I had to see. My guy has short shorts, which I love.
Did you give them like what's it, the goddamn delegate, like
I think they just typed in a number, if I'm being honest,
okay,
because they didn't have
okay.
to like log in with a wallet. I think it was just number. I'm sure, because I didn't give them anything. They stole my
realizing
identity.
we do have the technology to safely do that without like losing your asset now.
That's
right?
true.
Like, yeah.
That is true. For sure. And so again, here we go. He says 4 more grails tomorrow when I'm done. I'm done for now. All 4 are non-Yuga projects. 100% I believe. And what do you think they are? So my first question to all of you, when he tweeted that out 8 hours ago, what are 4 projects that you think he would pick up that he hadn't up to this point? And I know we haven't gotten to it, but he picked up a really dope Azuki. It was that one of the 4, do you think?
It's got to be, because that's like, how much was that sale?
I don't even know.
89
89. Yeah, because the person bought it for like 45.
Yeah, they bought it.
Ago.
I think it was Seesaw,
Yeah.
and they bought it for 45 just a few weeks ago. So that was a good flip for them. And now the floor of spirits is back to 100.
Okay,
solid.
So
Yeah, this
one of
spirit's
the 4?
amazing. I think it's awesome. Sweeper. I wonder if he's gonna get the. I wonder if he's eligible for the sweater. The sweatshirt.
I tagged Z, I tagged Zaga, and I was like, yo, make sure to hook this guy up with the sweater, like in case it's already
dude,
clear,
for real. That should be like a no-brainer, for real. Because if you can get him to wear it and take a picture, like, that's, why would you not, right? Surely this is one of the 4 though, right? That he was gonna buy tomorrow. So what would your other guesses be for 4 that he's going to buy tomorrow?
Let's look at some collections.
I was kind of
X would be in there.
I do think that is probably one of them. I do.
Yeah.
I could see Forgotten Runes, because they are so tight with Yuga as well, and I could see him buying like a really dope ass one,
possibly a World of Women, right? Because they're part of the. They're one of the ones missing from the original Other Side trailer, right?
Yep.
That he hasn't gone on a sweep yet.
What if he goes Milady?
Dude, I was just looking at that.
I would be shocked. Dude, I don't know. Like, how do you react to that? I'm not even sure.
Moonbirds, maybe depending. I don't know.
Maybe.
It'd be really cool to see him go with like something like a Rip Cache, or are you all familiar with Rip Cache?
I am not.
Like very much on chain. Art, like everything is encoded, all of it, like absolutely crazy stuff.
I could
But
see
yeah.
him doing something like that though, like a really nice art piece,
I think he
on-chain
should,
art or something like
you know?
that. I could definitely see that rather than PFP potentially.
Yep.
Though maybe this is what he's doing is just PFPs for now, and then maybe later, month, 2 months, 3 months from now, then he goes back and picks up some art. I could see him doing both those options. If I had to just, guess, that's a very good guess because they invited them as well to Apefest, and had conversations. I would guess, I really
maybe a motherfucker,
maybe.
MFer.
That's the thing is that only 4, like, let's just take the Azuki out because I feel like there's so many that he could choose. Forgotten Runes to me just makes so much sense because the connection.
Fidenza, that's good.
A Fidenza could be definitely
Squiggle.
a choice for sure. Squiggle.
Then there's the in between the art and the PFP, like kind of like a Jack Butcher, right? Like maybe
Sure.
something from his. So
Could definitely see that. So we'll see. Tomorrow will be his last spending spree for now. And then he said, in all seriousness, I had always wanted to join more communities across Web3 space, but I felt I had a responsibility to restrict myself from doing so while still working at Yuga. I know my haters will say there's some ulterior motive behind this or whatever, but I just missed everyone. It's really that simple. Here for your NFTs, the love and the shit posting. That's all. See you tomorrow, fam. So again, I can understand that. I can see that. And then, of course, he had to throw a funny tweet at Garga, as he always does. There's usually a tiny gnome dress Garga in my head that tells me not to tweet certain things. Told him to take the night off. He made this face and said, "Vaya con Dios," before he left. What did that gnomey little fuck mean by that? The picture of Garga from Apefest, which, again, if you followed them at all, they always have an amazing back and forth. If he buys a Gary Vee project, I will sell and get the fuck out. Man, that would, we'll see. He could buy one, though. I could see that. I don't know. There's so many. Like, how does he only pick 4? Because now here's the other thing. This is going to sound crazy, but the space. We all know the space too well. If he doesn't pick your fucking project, do you then just fucking hate Yuga?
People
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like if you're a holder of whatever, any of these, like, because there's more than 4, projects that are still doing dope shit. And so, like, if you're one of those that don't get picked, are you just like, what the fuck, dude? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I can already see it. The timeline's gonna have all kinds of hatred on it. And then 8 hours ago, he said had like 7 dildo related tweets locked and loaded. Shame. Then you had Danny, of course, putting different Meebit heads there, and then the dead fellas welcoming him. And then he had 3 hours ago the amazing Azuki. So, man, gotta show this. Got to show this. Bored Opepin. I see you bored, Elon. You little shit. Trying to get Gordon to switch his PFP. And he says, fuck it, Gordon Goner. If you make this Opepin your PFP for a week, you can have it brand new, never used. And this is the kind of response we just love to see. Can't do it, friend. Ape till I die. Let's freaking go. Had to get that in there. We love bored Elon. Super dope human as well. But good to see again at the end of the day. What we talked about, and this will transition us into that next topic of marketplace, is that I really do believe he is the spirit of community. He always has been that. At the very beginning, he was always the louder voice. Not that Garga wasn't there. Not that the other founders weren't there. But Gordon was always that, like, mouthpiece, a guy that was driving the vibes, having good conversations, and cracking a shit ton of jokes too. But I think you're seeing it here on a larger scale that he wants the entire NFT space, the people that are still here and actually building, he wants them to have that same feeling. Like, we're in the same, like, let's go. We're in the same community. Doesn't mean that we're all going to be in the same exact projects, but why can't we all, cheer each other on? Even if it's from the sidelines, like, why can't we cheer for good shit to happen? We shouldn't be hoping all the shit goes to zero, because then how's that going to look for NFTs in the grand scheme of things, right? It's like, as people, collectors, builders here, wouldn't you want more than 1, 2, 3 projects to be doing cool things? Like, wouldn't
And it
that
should be
only make sense?
expected as well. Like,
Absolutely.
I mean, like, otherwise it's amateur hour if it's 2 projects and then everything else is a rug. So I think I'm excited to see where he goes next. And of course, we've got to get into Apefest. What were your guys' sentiment? Obviously, I did not go. I was sad about it. You guys did not go as well. But what was your sentiment from the timeline of Apefest?
I will say before, the end of before we get into that news, everything else, it seemed like I saw, obviously I saw, a raving ape,
Yeah.
your buddies. some of them saying that this is the best Apefest and like just like really enjoying themselves. We obviously saw too, you know, I didn't have to go through or experience the merch thing, so I didn't, you know, I guess I didn't realize there was technical problems and this and that and the other. But everything seemed to, from an outside perspective, I just saw all the wins and people celebrating. So everything looked really good, and I was very envious. And I've never been to China. In Japan is obviously also like, for if I'm going to be there, I might as well go to the other as well. Like, yeah, they're on my bucket list for sure. So I'm definitely envious.
Yeah, I think you know, people saying it's the best ever. Like, to me, what I would say to that is, well, it should be, because shouldn't every single one be better? Like, that would be my, like, maybe that's too high expectation, but like, to me, every single one should have things that are done better. And maybe it's, you know, incremental things. The merch goes better next time, or the merch, you like the merch better, or whatever, right? There's like, one of the things that we talked about even when we were all in Miami, the three of us, was that they listened to the community from just Apefest, the second one, which we were at as well, where it was just really loud. It was fun. It was vibey. Got some, you know, dope ass music and big names, but it's kind of loud everywhere. And what did they say? I talked to Jeff when we were there, and he's like, "Oh yeah, we listened to you guys. We knew that you guys wanted some space to, you know, if you wanted to just talk, chill, you know, mingle, whatever, do some business. We wanted space like that as well." Same thing here. People talked about is like, you could go out, you could vibe. They had the DJs going, drinks flowing, all that stuff. But you also had this like the yacht club kind of feel with the toilets and of course the UV lights that we'll get into here in a second. But you could also just have that conversation. So to me, I think it should always be better, right? Like I really do believe that. And maybe that's the partnerships. Obviously this year they had BMW with that sick activation. Man, that was super fire, where you could go up, get your ape directly onto the car. That looked fire. And if you're one of the first, I think it was like 250 or so, you got a POAP, which I'm interested to see what that brings from BMW. Because I mean, they could do a bunch of really cool shit with that. I think they got a t-shirt for that too, which is, again, cool limited merch that you got for free just for being there quick. But yeah, dudes, I would just say overall, like everything I saw, it was super positive. Tons of community events. That would be my other shout out to so many of the groups. I'm gonna miss somebody if I try to say a few of them, but it's like the Elite Apes. That's one of the ones that stick out the most. Like Jason and the Elite Apes, man. From everything I've read, and I wasn't there, but they were helping. They were guiding people. They were helping set things up. They were sponsoring shit. They gave a watch to freaking Daniel Allegre. It was like, dude, whoa. We're like, the vibes, the hospitality were at an absolute 10. And so to me, it was a great Apefest. Do I wish I was there? Of course. But the reality is, someone like me with two young kids, and I'm a teacher, I'm a coach, it wasn't going to happen this time. It just wasn't. I mean, I guess it could have been, but I might have had to live there as an ape for the rest of my life, because my wife might have divorced me in that instant.
That's when you got to take the wife with you. And
well, even if I took her with me, maybe she would have divorced me. I don't know. I don't know, because we would have been blinded by the UV light.
That is true.
But before we get into the UV light, because there was an update tonight, I do want to go to what Mr. Don't Feed was, of course, kind of poking at, which was a awesome announcement, if you ask me, from Yuga Labs and Magic Eden. So we got planning something new for all creators. We're partnering with that Magic Eden to launch the new Magic Eden ETH marketplace, the first major ETH marketplace, contractually obligated to honor creator royalties. It's launching this year. More details soon. That was interesting to me. I was actually kind of surprised. Now, I'm not saying it's full gear and just fucking rolling, you know, in November, December. We're already in November. But the fact that they were even going to start it, I think that's pretty dope. Like, I'm excited to see what it is. And so I'm going to throw it to Squirtle and then Don't Feed next. Yo, how do they do this, though? Like, there's always been a way around it. So what would be, there's a multitude of solutions that people have talked about. I've seen it on the timeline.
Mm-hmm.
If you, Squirtle, were in charge of this decision, how are you incentivizing or making sure, or trying to make sure, that most, if not all, of your Yuga Labs assets are being sold via Magic Eden and you're getting your royalties at 2.5% or whatever it may be?
I think the only way to do this is to have the Coinbase of marketplace UX and experience. When I say that, like, Coinbase is able to charge 25% on all their staked ETH. Like people who stake ETH within Coinbase, they take a 25% fee, where competitors take like 10%,
Okay.
which stuff like that, right? People pay for the extra percentage because they trust Coinbase's UX, they trust Coinbase's security, all that type of stuff, right? Magic Eden needs to do that, but for the marketplace, they need to have the UX that people just cannot deny. It has to be smooth. They have to gain trust via like no hacks, no leaks, listening to community. It's going to take time, but when you can sell the convenience and the UX of the marketplace, then you can get past a little bit of like the on-chain workarounds with royalties, right? You'll never get rid of the 0% royalty trading on the contract. You would have to put the NFTs into a wrapper contract, and that within itself, I think that's a whole another topic of like apes wrapping their apes in contract, like in different contracts and stuff like that.
Wrapping anything, we're in trouble, dude.
Yeah. So I think they have to go from this is going to be an amazing experience for retail. It's going to be an amazing experience for the casual NFT person. People just want to like use our app above anything else.
Sure.
I will say, and I'm going to give some other talk on another thing, which is basically just on Magic Eden, because I already gave that my other spiel about the whole thing. I have some familiarity with them, obviously through the Soul side of things and helping out with the project on that. And I know that they were one of the first. Soul went through the whole royalty thing before ETH, and Magic Eden was part of that, of like fuck you, with the royalties kind of thing. Which is people are saying it's funny because now they're coming back into being defended, which is smart. Anyways, point is, and they've also so Courtyard has been killing it with Polygon and doing those tokenized Pokemon cards. Yeah. Magic Eden got on top of that. When ordinals were popping off, Magic Eden opened up an ordinals. This marketplace has been crushing it, and they're hungry, and they're taking the opportunity. I'm rooting for them. I really hope it works out. They got all the they got the incentive to I guess to do it right, and they're working with the right people who basically are going to guide them on what they want. So I'm hoping for the best. Basically, is what I'll just say.
Yeah, I want them to knock it out. It's just knock it out of the park. I think before, we should be rooting for everyone for success. And if Magic Eden can have success on this, it means they captured some market. Some product market fit. So all for it. Yeah,
I agree. There's been the conversation of wrapping and new collection and burning, and I'm out on that. Yep. What about, here's a thought for you. What if I'm not even sure how this would work. There could be a semi-simple way to do this, but let's say, and I don't even know if this would matter, but what if you don't get the utility if you are doing it in other platforms? They can see that you sold it. I sell my ape to Don't Feed on Blur for 0 royalties, and now that ape can be given the stain or something. I don't know.
I would stay away from that, just because then you're getting into the territory of you're preventing the just freedom of
you're taking away some ownership. Yeah.
That's hard though, because I feel like they're in a, man, it's hard too, because there's a lot of these options that they could be doing that makes sense for them and probably collections, but is going to really ruffle feathers of, well, what is decentralization, right? And what is free to transact, those things.
I think.
Go ahead.
On Squirtle's earlier point, like the Coinbase, topic of just having a really good UX and comfortable thing. If they make it so basically you need to go to this back alley place, or or you got to do these things or whatever to transact without royalties, right? Those people will always exist. That'll still happen, but they would have still the lion's share of people just using Magic Eden and not going elsewhere or doing these other things because they're more comfortable and it's just safer and it's easier. If they can get to that point where it's kind of like that with the reason why people will just stay on Coinbase and they'll buy on Coinbase at above at a premium versus going or they'll swap anyways, all those different things. It's the same
enormous
thing,
fees. Yeah.
Just because, make it so easy, convenient that people just stay there and they pay the higher prices, and there'll always be those people who are, you know, quote unquote smarter, more business savvy, more tech, whatever it is, that can go and do those other things. But you don't need to punish those people, like, because the majority of the people are
like,
and you shouldn't, right? Because the majority of the people are going to be using your service. So yeah, I'm with Squirtle on like basically the Coinbase model of it.
That's interesting.
Also like just I think that they can leave all their current collections the way they are. And then future collections, do them in ERC 721C, if I remember correctly. Do it in the contract, in like that can get royalties on chain. Like be future thinking with it, not trying to retrofit, basically.
I don't know how much y'all know about this, and I know very little, but I heard Gabe Layden and Point Break talking about some sort of protocol or something that they've been working on that was supposed to be, it felt like it was a wrapper, but I don't freaking know.
Like an L2?
I don't know. We need to do some more diving into that, maybe off stream. But it was interesting to hear him talk because he's been talking with Magic Eden, and that's why my ears perked up, because it felt like it was an option that could do some of these things. But I don't know if it, again, it goes back to, are you letting people transact the way they see fit or not? I don't know.
It's very much on the contract level. Like the contract is the source of truth here. So it would have to be like, as long as that contract is the contract, you'll always have a way to do it without royalties.
Right.
You can do like L2s where like you can build the L2 where royalties are built into the protocol itself, where like some of the gas fee actually goes back to the contract maker, which is really cool, I think. So no matter what, you always get those royalties going back because it's just baked into the transaction fee. Stuff like that, I think. Yeah, we're just early.
Thoughts about Ape token only marketplace? Are you bullish or bearish on that if you were an Ape coin holder, like a large one?
Kind of bearish, I think.
Yeah.
Just, like, because then, I mean, basically you would just be going in there and you would have to have the mechanism in there to be like, okay, you can pay with ETH, but we're going to swap it into Ape for you. Because like, if you're coming in there with your wallet and you have 100 ETH, right? It's going to be like, all right, well, you either got to kick out to another website, or maybe you don't, you get scammed or something like that. Or we build in the conversion into Ape within the Ape only marketplace. Then at that point, you're just spending extra gas for no reason.
What if Magic Eden used Ape as a token that they don't have already to incentivize selling on Magic Eden?
There we go.
Yeah. Because they don't have their own token. Doesn't that make a lot of sense?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Because that's,
provide like incentives for whether it be like some of the blur like lending stuff, but put that over into Magic Eden and provide Ape as some of the rewards, or like if you look at Lookstrare, how they do their model, there's options.
Definitely interesting for sure. Something that we'll continue to look into as it is almost the end of 2023. So I guess we'll see what this looks like, or at least first version 1 V1. Man, we're almost at the top of the hour, and I do want to wrap with a few other things. Legends of the Mara. Squirtle, are you playing Legends of the Mara?
I am. Yep. I'm liking
it. Yeah, I would agree. What are your just a quick TLDR on Legend of the Mara from Squirtle's perspective?
It's a DeFi staking dashboard with some buttons that click to make your farming faster. It's gamified the staking experience, which I don't think there's anything wrong with that at all. I think it actually makes staking a bit better because you can be active with it, and people who are active with it get ahead. Even if you aren't like shoveling out a ton of money, you can still get ahead within your category, like within your what's the word, like your respective
I got you, the tiers and shit.
Yeah.
No, I agree. And I know Don't Feed, you're I think you're watching from the sideline, right?
Yeah. But I still, I did play around with it, and killed one of the shattered, which was all I could do with the one Mara that I had, and I knew I was like, plus and they gave us that boost, so I did get to experience it, and I thought it was cool, and I'm a big fan of the concept. I just was like, I instantly knew, I was like, man, as I'm doing this, I'm like, it made me want more, and I don't have the funds right now to just be loading up on them. But like, anyways, it does a good job of that, and that's the way. Yeah, so I respect it.
No, for sure. And we're going to do some rapid fire here because there were some other announcements. If you haven't seen yet, Yuga did announce a more clean overview. They did their own investigation into, if you're at Apefest, you saw it on the timeline, potentially that, and a lot of jokes being thrown around is this is why we have crazy eyes or blinded eyes or X'd out eyes as a trait. But the reality is they found that one of the UV light panels was the wrong type, because one is for disinfecting and you're talking about a specific type of UV, and that can actually really hurt your eyes. And so people had some burning of the eyeballs, waking up pretty painful for a few hours, maybe many hours. And so one thing, and again, this to me, this is not surprising, but it's still nice to see because it shows you that they are a professional company, right? It's like, I mean, I knew that, but it's still nice to see this as they came out and said, hey, we've done the due diligence. We talked to the provider that set up all this stuff. We found that this is the one area that it looks like this one panel was the wrong type. Please let us know. And they have already said, like, we've been talking to a lot of these people that are impacted. If you've been impacted, reach out to us here. Boom. Love it. Great amount of information, straight to the point. And again, if you were at Apefest and you had that happen, please make sure you check out Bored Ape's most recent tweet with that information on how you can contact, because they want to know and hear from you. And I think they'll have some solutions for you as well. Next up, I did want to share this because I kind of teased it, and we'll talk a little bit about Other Side. Gentlemen, I think we're going to see a lot more Other Side trips coming in 2024. And I can't wait to see this bad motherfucker running around. So this is a picture that Bryce and Will sent to me. They had my ape. I love the short shorts. If I'm
Dude,
being
your
honest.
ape looks good.
Dog, I love it. I love the short shorts. It looks good with the white beater. We got the part. We're partying. They all look dope, dude. Like, they look super fire. Being able to run around in this Other Side experience, in the Other Side when it opens up fully, like, that to me is a big plus. Like, again, if you're someone that wants to build around and spend like quality time in the metaverse, why would you not want like an awesome avatar, right? And it's not just apes. There's going to be other awesome ones, like Squirtle was saying. The Meebits, I think they're going to look clean as hell too. You've seen that when they did the play test, in Berlin. They looked awesome too. And there's going to be others. But
Dude, I can't wait to see some megas.
Oh, dude. Megas and just mutants in general. Dude, just mutants in general.
Yeah.
Like, they're so absurd. Like, the trippy fur and shit.
Those poor 3D modelers who have to do the mutants.
Back to work, sir. Dude,
are punks going to be like 3D modeled as well?
I think they are, but that's from a long time ago. And for whatever reason, I have this in the back of my mind that was in, yes. Like, I feel like that was one of the first Other Side light paper that was one of the collections they would be providing. Jensen, what's good? Thanks. Yeah, Anthony, great pick. Yeah, they surprised me with this. And so seeing it, I know I wasn't there, but still being able to see it was super dope. And Will and Bryce and many others got a chance to run around in the Other Side, experience it. And again, everything I've heard and seen has been that it was just an awesome experience. A lot of fun.
Phil, you were in the Wizards Halloween.
Yes. Dude.
That was like a taste of
what
it all will feel like and look like, because it was the same platform and everything.
Correct. And I am interested to see, because obviously Yuga has done some adjusting on what Other Side is, but still at the end of the day, they're going to be improbable in some capacity, I think. And shout out to the freaking Forgotten Runes. That Halloween thing was super fun. It was super dope.
Yep.
My boomer ass actually did okay. I didn't win or anything, but I feel like I was maybe top 25%. I didn't like fall. I didn't like not get past the first level with them having to help me. Like, I was happy about
trying to get on those platforms when you have hundreds of
you're just getting fucking bodied off of the platform for real. Anthony, I agree. I need a MFing wizard too.
Bitcoin pumping while we're live. That's
dude. Maybe that's why
the new up only. My God.
We are, dude. We can't leave. We must stay on.
We are not sponsored by FTX. Just for those that know the reference.
We are not. Anthony, unfortunately, I've been looking at wizards since they were like 0.3, and here I am sitting with my thumb up my ass that I didn't buy one. But nonetheless, I probably will try to grab one eventually. And then I did have one other thing. Oh yes, and we'll end on this and have some closing thoughts. Yuga, specifically Mr. Garga, announced over in Apefest that they have a mobile game coming in 2024 that they've been working on for 2 years. What are your thoughts on that little tidbit that really that hadn't really been leaked? Not that it's completely shocking, because they've had stuff on the roadmap for a couple of years now that they had all these blockchain games and this game and blah 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 blah. But to have him actually come out there and say, "Yo, it's coming," and we've been working, I'm curious to see what that looks like. He also said, "Hey, don't worry, no voting." I think they understand. I think they really do understand.
No voting ever again.
That just the Forge in general was such a fucking beatdown. I'd rather them do that now with just us idiots than like large platform and trying to bring normies in and then they look at it like, what the hell are we doing here? I'm excited to see what it looks like. I hope it's super interactive. Goggles. That'd be great. Dude, please, man, can we get some ape goggles? I remember, I think we probably talked about in the DMs where it was like you saw these trademarks and some of it was like video game system and blah blah blah, and it was all like from Yuga, and we're like, dude, are we gonna fucking Yuga PlayStations? Like their
hardware, all of it. Yeah.
That would be insane. But nonetheless, I'm excited to see what 2024 brings. I know I'm not trying to wish away the last 2 months of the year, but it just feels good naturally to see the timeline more happy. Not that it was completely negatively impacting me, but it can be hard sometimes, because I would say it definitely helps, because to be honest, some of the best parts of my day are usually having conversations with people in the NFT space or listening to someone super bright talk about something I want to learn about. And before the last week or so, maybe 2 weeks, it was not fun to like try to look for information or read shit or like talk to people, because everyone was naturally in a pretty depressive state. So my question to both of you, are we just up only now? We're just in the bowl. We're ready to fucking roll, or what? Are we back? I guess I'm asking you.
Lead it off.
I got it in my name. Are we back? That's my question. The last question of the night.
Dude, you know what I feel like marked the bottom was that Rolling Stones article.
Yes, dude.
Your NFTs are finally totally worthless. like look at, like if we go and look. Yeah, that was September 20th. That was probably the best time to buy a bunch of things.
Yeah,
around them. But yeah, I don't think that we're just straight up only euphoria like madness yet. I don't think that we're gonna go into bear either. Like there's right now we're definitely in an uptrend. Crypto's up. And there's been some our volume in the NFT market, I guess, is up since July. So that's awesome. So there's life in the markets. And I think right now we're trending up, but we still have a lot to go. And it's not going to just be a straight up, but yeah, the vibes are definitely starting to come back, and it's feeling a lot better. And I think that we've gotten through the worst of the bear. Even though, when there naturally probably comes some good pullbacks along the way up, people might start suddenly feeling bearish again and down bad. But I don't think we have to sit through 2 years of people just like, and plus, we'll say we just survived the best part, or the hardest part too is just the like this last 3 months or 6 months, whatever it was, this like exhaustion phase that we were going through. I definitely realized like that's the worst phase of the bear market, because it's, even though I'm confident and know like things are the market ebbs and flows, this is the way it goes and all that, I still even started, like, it almost got me. The exhaustion almost got me at points. There was and I'll say I definitely spent time away from the markets, man. Like during that time is the best advice I can give, even though still check in, and there was obviously huge opportunities. It was great to be DCing into crypto, and obviously there's been some good buys, but like, yeah, there was a really hard time, and things got very PvP, cutthroat. Everybody was exhausted, and you just started there was a period where I almost was like, do things need to be NFTs? Do we even need this tech? Is it just extra garbage and hype? Like, when I watched that the Beanie Baby boom movie, and that hit me really hard. I was like, holy fuck, because like those things are never coming back.
No.
Like that's the worst. Like is that what we are? Like, were we Beanie Babies? So yeah.
Some collections are Beanie Babies. That's for
Some a lot of collections are
Yeah.
definitely Beanie Babies.
Most collections are that for
yeah,
sure.
most collections are 100%.
So
Yeah.
Squirtle, are we back?
Yeah, I mean, like, it's good to see the good vibes. If people recall, 2020, we had some black swans before everything went parabolic. The COVID black swan. Some before that, like the COVID black swan was actually wild because, like, what exchange was it that shut down that prevented Bitcoin from just going to like absolutely zero because there was like no liquidity?
Probably like BitterX or one of those, right? Like,
yeah, it was something like that. Like when it went down to 3K. But yeah, so and then everything went crazy for the bull run that we all went through. So
yeah,
things can seem absolutely doomsday right before things become just insane. So comfy bags and ignoring the noise. Nothing is as bad or as good as it seems. But it does seem like there's been a narrative shift. I am looking forward to seeing the timeline and the people's attitudes and the news and everything when we do get our first like good 20-30% pullback.
Yeah.
Which probably will be a nice little opportunity.
That'll be a buy signal when when everybody's panicking and saying, "Yep, we're back in the bear."
Yep.
Or it's over, folks. It's over.
Especially after like so much time with rates going up, with like all of the fear mongering, all of like the market cycles. Like we've been in this like recession type of thing for a while now. Yeah. I think like I forget it sometimes how long we've been in this downtrend, like overall. So things don't go down forever. But the one article that I loved was the Washington Journal talking about like how terrorists were using crypto for like to fund all their stuff, and they cited an exchange's entire liquid like exchanging like the total amount that the exchange had swapped back and forth. They counted that as like how much terrorists were using to like fund their crypto wallets and everything, like how much they were getting in like inbound in tokens, like complete misinformation. And I was like, okay, yeah, we're back in that. Like people are just shitting on it to shit on it because it's popular, which means let's have some fun. So
we're almost back. I think that's what the answer is. We are almost fucking back. Dudes, I just want to say thank you so much for being here. And thanks to everybody that showed out. We appreciate you. Thank you for the comments. Thank you for the questions. We see you. I agree. Dude, it is so nice to see some daylight. I couldn't have said it any better than that. Marketplace for Yuga bags. Yeah, we will see Magic Eden here again within the next 7-8 weeks, because they did say the first version, that first push will be in 2023, which we are, believe it or not, in 2023.
Yeah, we're over 1900 ETH too.
Let's freaking go. We can't stop the show. We must go on. But nonetheless, you will see a lot more Don't Feed and Squirtle. Again, two of my absolute homies from the very beginning of this journey for me in 2021. Dude, we've been super close. We've gone to a bunch of events together. We've actually stayed in the same place, aka Don't Feed's freaking crib. Man, we're basically brothers from different mothers. I want to say thanks to Don't Feed, thanks to Squirtle. Make sure you follow them on X. Ask them smart or like hard questions. They will have answers for you. I might have answers for the easy ones. If you got hard questions, send them to Don't Feed. Send them to Squirtle. Any last words, Mr. Squirtle? Then I'll throw it to Don't Feed and we'll wrap.
Have some fun out there. Enjoy the culture. Enjoy the vibes. We're all just playing with internet money, and we're kind of changing how like the internet works, and it's a ton of fun. So keep that in mind.
Hear, hear.
I'm definitely going to just second that. And I almost want to leave it on that note. That's just way too good. Other than that, I will say, thank you, Phil, for having us. And we definitely got to do this again. It's been way too long. Like I've missed this and enjoyed it.
Dude, for sure. I miss these talks for sure. Spaces. Oh, those might be coming back. Just wait and see. And definitely if this mobile game or whatever game and other side trips, we'll be here to experience it all with y'all, because that is the best way to do it. Together as a family, as Gordon says, we're in this together, baby. With that, this was Phil. This was Board TV. Stay bored.
That money clip us now, the new now looks like, whoa. Upgrade her diamonds, now her girlfriends are like, whoa, whoa. I hit record a drop, you can't ignore it. I'm transforming now these cars and planes, I'm always boarding. Just out touring down in Charlotte like I play for Hornets. When I'm performing, never boring, now you can't afford it. Champagne Perrier, Finnish friends on my face.